All right, happy Strength Hammer episode 93. I almost forgot.
Let's go. Well done.
Well done. Alex, how are you? How are you today?
I'm doing great. I'm a
Good.
little bit under the weather, just a little bit, but overall, it's a
Mm-hmm.
beautiful day in Western Pennsylvania.
It is, it is. I'm a little sleepy, as we were discussing before we started. 2 nights in a row of not getting more than 6 hours of sleep. My little sleep tracker. I think I said I got 5.5 last night. So it's like it's rough.
Which is funny you say that because most people, or a lot of people who might even listen to this, or people in the world, are like, "Oh yeah, that's what I usually get." Right?
I yeah, it's odd. Like I mean, it's the Pokemon Sleep like trackers because it's fun and it's Pokemon, and I will give them money forever. Um, but yeah, like I went so many years with like getting between 6 and 7, and now that I'm getting between 7 and 8 more regularly, I feel like I can't go back. My body's like, no,
Abs-
it's great. And it's starting to work at a higher level, but
Absolutely.
yeah,
Yeah, it's like when you start eating healthier and you go back to eating junk food for a few days, and you're like, "Wow, I feel miserable. This sucks."
yeah.
Yeah, it's very similar.
It's like every time like, everyone is you like get past like a Long John Silver's, you're like, man, that would taste so good right now, but it's gonna feel so bad later.
Right, exactly.
But hey, but yeah. So, Alex, there has been some goings on in the fitness end of the world.
Oh yeah.
It's actually this is a personal one just for you. I saw it this morning. Matthias Kielikowski just became the official Guinness World Record holder for the truck pull.
No way. How did I not see that? I've not been on Instagram
He
actually a lot lately, so maybe that's
That's
why.
right.
Holy crap, that's excellent.
Yeah, he posted it on his Instagram, and I think they did it on a Polish TV show or something. But like, yeah, he's the official world
Looks
record
like
holder. Yeah, it, I'm not saying he'll ever not be beat, but he's one of the great truck pullers out there. So
in general, pulling, holding, shoulders are like his mojo, right? He
yeah,
just right now he crushes that.
right. So and I'm wondering if that had something to do with him dropping out of World's Strongest Man to purposely train and focus on that because I think it just happened.
That's probably it. His body is probably pretty beat up.
Yes. And then we had some couple more people, uh, not as well known people's Flowers from the UK and
Mm.
Haraldsson from oh my gosh, Iceland withdraw from the World's Strongest Man. I've seen that Shane Flowers before once or twice, um, but they did add in a new Canadian, Tristan Hoeth. I
Ooh,
never heard of him, so that's always fun.
that's great.
Um, and Adam Roskowski is added
Sounds
in now.
Polish.
It is. There's a Polish flag next to his name.
Yep, yep, yep.
Um, oh, and I think Adwar, I'm probably butchering his name. He's Irish, and he's been there multiple times.
Okay.
He's just a funny account, like he no shits given type thing.
I feel like I've seen that one. Yeah, it sounds
He
familiar.
he does pretty good like content on Instagram too.
Right,
So
right.
but
That's
yeah,
probably why I've seen him. That's excellent. It's going to be exciting to watch that.
it is, and it's gonna be next, not the weekend of this release of the show, but I think the one after. So
Yeah,
I'll be tuning in and watching, that's for sure, as much as I can. That's a hard
as
one to
much as
tune in for because
we still have life to live and things to do, but it'll be good
well,
to watch.
no, it's not hard to tune. It's not that. It's not the timing. Um, since it's recorded and shown later, I think through ESPN, unless they changed it this year, you can't see any televised live of it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you see it from hunting the people's Instagram accounts,
Uh,
and
uh,
usually Eddie Hall on his YouTube. will do videos talking about what happened during after each event to give you
Right.
updates. So like it's like you're not actually watching it.
Right.
You're just
Right.
getting the
Watching it live
updates.
would be a little tough.
Right. Oh, bless you.
Oh, excuse me. Thank you.
But yeah. Real quick thing too. I'm gonna probably start. I think I told you I might start doing like a content mini update video every Monday. So been consuming some content for that as well. Mitch Hooper's No Stone Unturned. So just a quick
What do you,
recommend for that.
is it going to be on YouTube or Instagram?
No, it'll be YouTube. It'll be YouTube.
Okay, cool.
But I'm not sure if it'll be like a long form, short. Like it's not gonna be more than like 10 minutes. But
Just like a fitness update.
well, it'll be fitness. Like what content am I watching? Fitness,
Oh,
Warhammer. Yeah.
got
So
it.
I've been doing some stuff for that too. But I was like almost about ready to talk about it. I'm like I should save that for that video. So sorry.
Right. I like it. I like it.
Yeah. But hey, let's talk some fitness.
Talk
Um.
some fitness. I love it.
Yep. So what are we talking about today, Alex?
Well, today I put in my story, what should we cover next time on the Strength Hammer podcast?
Hmm.
And I had a number of responses, but the two that stuck out to me that were similar. Number one was from Tony, my friend, who asked, "What are your struggles that we've had with lack of motivation, and what do we do to work past it?"
Hmm.
And then, in a very similar capacity, another person asked to comment on mental strengthening and positive reinforcement, which I would say can go hand in hand.
Right. Yeah. I mean,
Motivation, and one is positive reinforcement, mental strengthening.
I would say, yeah. I mean, we can wrap this up right now. We can just say discipline, and you move on. Because that's kind of what we're gonna boil it down to, I think.
Ultimately, that's going to be it, right? Discipline is freedom, right? But yeah,
Yes.
since you brought it up, how about you talking about it first?
Gotcha. Actually, I just shared literally on my Instagram story. Ben Mudge, our brother over there in Ireland, just shared a good story of how he gets through this. It was
Mm,
top of mind this morning, I guess, for everybody. But if you're not motivated to go to a gym session, or just like you wake up and you're just not feeling it, the best thing you can do is just kind of go put yourself on autopilot.
yeah,
Just even though you're not thinking, like just put the gym clothes on, take your pre-workout, get your stuff together. Like don't dwell on it. Don't dwell on the negativity of like, oh, I don't want to go. It's going to be rough. And also, if I'm struggling, I'll be like, I'll just tell my wife or I'll tell you like, hey, I'm going to the gym later. Because then it's held accountable. Because if I said I'm going to the gym later and then Alex doesn't see me post anything from the gym, he'd be like, did you go?
did you go? What's
Yeah.
happening?
Actually, my wife will be much harder on me than you will.
Right. I try to be gracious, like, oh, it's all right. Well, at least do something at home. And she's like, no,
Yeah.
go to the gym now.
Yeah, exactly. Um, but yeah, but essentially what it is like motivation to me is great, and especially early on in the fitness,
Sure, sure.
watching other people lift, you know, getting hyped from the videos, putting on some great music, and just like kind of like that whole realization of where I want to be. Like, motivation was so key to that early process, but
Mhm.
you have to push past it at some point because at some point you're not going to be motivated.
No,
And that's
absolutely
when,
not.
and discipline is just habits for me. So that's where I'm with it. Like, when your motivation starts failing, you need to rely on your discipline, and your discipline doesn't mean it's easy to go. It just means you
Right,
will go.
right.
What about you?
No, I mean, I honestly, you pretty much summed it up. I would say, just to elaborate on the topics you already brought up, the way I see it is motivation gets you in the door, right? And discipline keeps you going,
Hmm.
right? And also discipline, like you said, it's formed, it's habits formed. So also making sure you understand yourself and you set realistic expectations, right?
Hmm.
Because if you haven't gone to the gym for 5 years, and then you're like, you know what, January 1st, I'm motivated, I'm going to the gym every single day for 2 hours,
Hmm.
you're going to fail. It's not me doubting you. You are going to fail because that's not sustainable
Right.
unless you don't have a life, right? And a job, right? So instead of doing that, say, I'm going to do, I mean, really, realistically, if you haven't gone for 5 years and now you want to start going, commit to minimum one day a week for half an hour to an hour,
Yeah.
right? And maybe more if you can. You can definitely go from there. But that's going to be much better. And you do it for a few weeks and you're like, I want to do more. I'm going to do 2 days. I'm going to do
Yeah.
3 days. And eventually you get to a point where it's sustainable for you and you find a place, but you need to be disciplined with it.
Yeah. And try to find the same time, the same days,
Yep.
or it's just so it's always there. So like, like, oh, it's 4 o'clock on Tuesday. I got to go to the gym. That's just your gym time, and you schedule it in as well. It's actually
Yeah,
it's funny how similar this is, like going to the gym. That motivation and discipline for the gym is similar to painting miniatures.
sure,
A
sure.
100%, because as soon as like I gave myself a hobby space, I hobby all the time. It's super easy. There's no excuse. It's all set up and ready to go. Uh,
Right.
Another thing to help, probably, if you're worried about the motivation or just like it comes and it goes quickly, is when you get home from your gym session, immediately prep your bag. Like get your shaker bottle, get like the little
Yeah.
thing on the bottom, put your protein in there, get your pre-workout, get it all set up so it's all ready to go. The only thing you have to do is put on your shoes and your clothes and you go.
It's like meal prepping, right?
Yeah.
You set yourself up for success,
Yeah.
right? Get that gym membership. Honestly, another big one, and I know you're a big fan of almost intuitive lifting. I'm a big fan of having a program to
Yeah.
follow, right? And make sure you have a realistic program. If you haven't done for a while, not doing 5, 6 day body part split. But like we talked a little bit ago, a couple podcasts ago, about 3 day split and
Mm.
how efficient it can be, right? So like find a program, get a 3 day split, DM me if you need a beginner's one, right?
Hmm.
And stick to it, right? Adjust it if needed. If your gym doesn't have certain equipment, if you have a crappy gym, sure, adjust it, but have a program to stick to. Adjust it if needed, but have something to stick to. Have a plan.
Yeah, and to be fair, like the one thing you gotta keep in mind, like I'll go to the gym with my wife throughout the week, and she'll just be like, "Oh, that." Like she'll go through, like we drag each other to the gym when we don't want to go, which is nice. But we'll finish up at like, "How was your workout?" And she's just like, "Oh, it was so awful." And like she's like, I feel like I didn't put in enough effort. Like I was dragging. I was just like, "Yeah, but you lapped everybody that's still on the couch," and like that
Exactly
sort of
it.
thing. So any movement is better than no movement.
Exactly it. Yeah. Yeah. So discipline is freedom.
Hmm.
And as far as mental strengthening, I think the other question
Yes.
was positive reinforcement, mental strengthening. Make sure you do it for right reasons, right? You're not at the gym to punish yourself. You're not at the gym because
Mm-mm.
you hate yourself. You're at the gym because you know and you trust that it's good for you, and it is good for you, and it is better for you, and it allows you to enjoy life more, not less.
Also, I mean, the bros will start talking about how big your arms are, how good you're looking.
Not the ladies, not the ladies, definitely the
Actually,
bros.
yeah, unless you are a lady, then the ladies will talk about it.
Right, of course, of course.
It's the gym's really weird. You don't.
Yeah, don't go for the wrong reasons. 'Cause it's
No, yeah,
not gonna
don't, no,
happen.
no, no.
uh,
Yeah,
Good.
that's so true too. Like, make sure you're there for the right reason, and make sure you understand that that reason is down the road. Um,
Mm,
to me, the gym has always been something like you have goals, but the gym is the most easiest one where I'm always pushing that. I've never accomplished my goals per se because before like it's done, I've already pushed them out farther to help keep,
sure.
and
Yes.
that's kind of self-motivating, but like I've completed armies. I'm like, bam, I completed that army. That's cool.
Right. Right.
I've never completed deadlifting how much I actually want to deadlift because by the time I hit the goal I had, it's already past it. So it's like, or like,
Right.
it's like, okay, oh yeah, I'm pulling this up. This 480 feels good. Like, well, let's go for 500. I'm not even done with that pull yet.
So let me ask you this then, and this I think will be helpful for our viewers. Do you beat yourself up about not getting to those goals?
No, I just find new ways to approach it. Like, okay,
Yeah.
I failed this lift that I should be doing. Like you saw me struggle with the bench for how long.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so it's like, okay, well, what am I doing wrong? Well, let me hang out and work out and ask someone, you, who's great at benching, and it's helped shoot my bench up. Or like if I fail like a deadlift or something, or like get like that back pop I've had a couple times in my lifting journey. It's like, okay, well, what broke down? Was I was my form off? Was I not treating the weight with respect? Or was there something else going on? Was I just should I have not been lifting that heavy that day because I wasn't fully there?
Absolutely. Yeah, I love it. And yeah, the big thing is it's good to have goals, right? It's good to aspire to be more than you are right now, but it's also good to recognize your progress. Otherwise, you're
Yes.
going to be miserable, right? If you're never happy with what you accomplished, you'll be miserable pursuing those goals that are always going to keep going further and further,
Yeah.
right? So recognize your progress, be happy about how far you've come, and also keep going forward, keep pursuing and
Yeah.
chasing those goals.
And celebrate your wins, celebrate your PRs,
Exactly.
like, but don't
Exactly.
don't like don't feel like you're gonna ever feel like you've gotten everything you want out of the gym. You're never gonna be strong enough once you start the journey, and that's fine, and it's supposed to be that way.
it's a good thing. Enjoy the journey, right? That's really what we're coming down to.
Yeah.
Enjoy the process. Enjoy the journey.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's great. Was there
I love it.
anything else, any other parts of that question? That second question?
I think we covered it. Motivation. So basically, struggling with motivation is a real thing. Don't rely on motivation. It's nice when it happens, but discipline is what actually keeps you going.
Yep.
Mental strengthening, positive reinforcement. Do it for the right reason. Enjoy the journey. Set goals, but also be happy with the progress you're already seeing. So, yeah, I think we covered it.
Great. Yeah.
All right.
Cool. Let's talk about a little bit of hobby time for you, Alex. How's your hobby going? How's your warhammering? I mean, we have actually. I'm curious. Are you going this weekend of the posting of this? There's going to be the Warpstone Wars GT. Are you going to make it out? Ah, darn. Okay.
Fortunately not. I was invited by multiple people, and unfortunately, life is a little bit on the crazy side right now. It's just a
fair.
little bit busy. But time is probably the most precious it has ever been for me.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, it is very limited. We should talk about what I do for fitness because I feel like I do really well with that. And then we'll talk about hobby. I'm like, I don't do anything.
That's why you're here. You're the other side of the coin of Neil.
I know. The opposite side of it. What has Neil done for fitness? I bet it wasn't much. Actually, I don't know. He's actually usually staying pretty active.
He is active, yeah.
Lately for hobby, so I've been really focusing on this game.
Ooh.
Heroes of Might and Magic 3.
Nice,
Things
nice.
Fall down. It is a really, really fun game. I've been just learning the rules and setting it out and like moving pieces. So when I actually do host a game night for this, I know how it plays because it's not as complex as Warhammer, but it's complex in different ways.
Nice.
So that's been my hobby lately, which has been very limited, so only a few hours a week. But the last few hours, maybe I would say 3 hours total I spent have been learning this game for me.
There you go. There you go. I mean, speaking of complex, by the way, if people weren't aware, we have a new Taylor Swift album out, and boy, does that get complex. I love it. Well, listen, I recently traveled for work, so I had 2 7-hour drives. So boom,
Yeah.
it's in here. It's in here.
Have you seen that meme? It's like it's usually the girls I see that doing it, and it's like me in a happy, loving relationship, and like listening to Taylor Swift, and just like husband tries to approach, he's like, no,
Let me be sad. Yes. Yes. Oh yeah. 100%. 100%. Actually, it's funny because I know I've said it here before, and you know it. Like I'm the Swiftie. My wife's not the Swiftie. She likes some Taylor Swift songs.
Sure.
She, and like I get the album, like she'll listen to it, and she's like, "This album wasn't written for everybody." I was like, "What do you mean?" 'Cause, like I'm deep in. She's like, "This album was written for people like you, like me.
Okay.
Like if you are a Swiftie and like you follow and you know stuff about it." I get so much more out of the album. It's like a lot of like inside jokes and things.
I see. It's almost like you have to have been there for her journey to
Yes.
really understand it. That's pretty cool that she doesn't advance that.
That's essentially it. It's pretty good. But sorry, I'll save the rest of my Taylor Swift talk for my hobby time when we get over with Neil. But I'm glad the hobby's going well.
I'm doing something.
Yeah.
I really want to do something every week. I just don't want to have a week go by without me enjoying something.
Well, hey, you know what you do?
It's really busy.
You set a same time every week for an hour, and you just get disciplined and do it, Alex.
Yeah, no, I agree, man. That's exactly how you do it. We just talked about it.
Got it. Well, do you have anything else before we shift over to Neil Land?
I think that's it. We talked about working out and having a program to stick to. If you ever need a program, just go on my Instagram and DM me. I mostly do it for beginners. If you are intermediate or advanced, you have other resources to find the program. But if you're just starting out, I always give free either body weight at home or free gym workouts. So reach out to me. It's very easy for me to send it to you if you need some structure.
There you go. And then the Alex's Instagram is permanently down in the show notes always, so you can just find it right down there. So cool.
Excellent.
All right. Well, we'll see you next week, Alex, but we'll shift over to me and Neil, and we'll talk whatever we're talking about tonight, because I haven't figured out the topic yet at the time of recording this.
Sounds great. See you guys.
Okay, everyone, and we are back here. Continuing Strength Hammer podcast, episode 93. Hope you're all enjoyed that first segment with me and Alex, where we just talked all things fitness and mentality and all that sort of fun stuff. Unfortunately, Neil was unable to join us tonight, and I was unable to find a replacement to fill in so I could have someone bounce off of for conversation. So we'll see how this goes solo. If it goes well enough, you'll be seeing this If it does not go well enough, you won't be. So hey, you know what? No harm, no foul, right? So I got my cold Topo Chico here. Oh, all this stuff. But yes, so kick things off. Might as well talk about a little bit about my hobby I got going on right now. And I do apologize. This is going to be kind of a free form self discussion because otherwise, if you want me to just, we were going to do Tomb Kings, but if you want me to just read the Tomb King books, you can go find someone who does it a lot better than me. But yeah, so free form discussion. So first up, hobby. What am I working on right now? Well, actually, one of the fun hobby things I've been neglecting has been reading of my Warhammer novels. I have a couple in stack right now, such as the latest Gotrek book. Um, I did manage to, due to a recent sales conference work trip I was just at, was able to pick up a brand new copy of the Lords of the Lance hardback at this great little hobby location in Albany, New York. I'm gonna actually shout it out because it was that great. Very well stocked. They had tooth and coats, Army Painter, GW, um, just literally everything. Gunpla, all Warhammer, literally all Warhammer. Old World, Horse Heresy, you name it, they had it. In comics, Zombie Planet Comics and Games up in Albany, New York. Yes, so definitely go give them a look see if you're in the Albany area. It is a fantastic gaming store. Apparently, they have a sister location too where it's just for gaming, and they even have board games there that you can just kind of use, and it's like a $5 cover or something. The gentleman said, but still great store. Um, really tempted to buy more, but it's kept with just a book. And also, so I have those two books. So I go off on tangent already. But the third book I just started reading is The Lions of the Forest. I missed it in hardback when it came out, and then picked it up in softback as soon as I was able to, and I'm started reading it finally. So hopefully it's gonna get some 40K juices flowing. Still not like super jazzed on this current edition of 40K as far as the flavor of the rules. I mean, the gameplay feels fine. I don't play competitively anyway, but still, we'll it's fun. The lore, see how the line comes back, all that stuff unfold, and then I'll probably dive into the Gotrek book next, I think. Oh, well, no, it could be. It's gonna be tough because there's something coming up planned. I'll talk about later in the show that may involve Bretonians on my end. So, Lords of the Lance might be next. Regardless, other hobby. I'm still working on a fun project for Games Workshop. You'll be able to partake in it down in Dallas at the Warhammer US Open. Um, it's part of the Spearhead stuff they're doing down there, demos, what have you, for the hashtag new AOS. Unfortunately, despite being available, not going to be going, wasn't needed, or whatever reason. I mean, hey, part of being on a team is showing up whenever you're needed. The other part is sitting on the bench whenever you need to sit on the bench. I'm sitting on the bench for Dallas. As much as I'd love to go, because I love that area and I was hoping to see everybody, is what it is. Here we are. But I'm happy I can support through other means like this little project I'm working on. So, and that'll be done here shortly. And then I have these beauties to paint up here. I forgot to get pictures for this, so sorry. Just see it like this. It's all on my social media if you want, but there we go. The Black Talons. Yeah, I'm excited to paint these. Um, it's simple. They're not gonna be too difficult to paint. I'm not gonna go too crazy with them. I'm gonna base them to go with my Daughters of Cain because I just want to play my Daughters of Cain in Age of Sigmar, despite my other armies and how fun they are to have and look. I just want to play my Daughters of Cain. Which, surprisingly enough, I actually have a GT, Warpstone Wars GT, out in Coriopolis, Pennsylvania, near Pittsburgh. Actually, by the time this comes out, it'll be the next day. It should be, yeah, this weekend, if you're watching this time of posting. Should be fun. I'm taking a 90 Witch Elf Drachy Ganeth list, and I'm just YOLO. Let's go. Mostly because with the reinforcement changes, this will be the last time I'll have the ability to run units of 30 Witch Elves, so I'm bringing as many as I legally can, which is why I'm doing Drachy, because I can break that rule once, so I'm going to do that for sure. I think it's gonna be interesting. It's my last GT for third edition Age of Sigmar, which so far has been my least favorite edition. um, Despite playing more games of it than I ever have before. I think that's just the quality of the people around me and the events and such. Um, but yeah, the last time I'll be taking out like these types of lists and things. It's kind of weird. It's not surreal. I guess there's a little bit of melancholy if I'm using that word correctly. Because I'm gonna be sad. That kind of like the way I know things is going away. It's being completely rewritten. Um, Not that I can't play the older editions, but I just probably won't. It's just how it goes, right? Unless you kill off a game system, I'll play the newest edition, even if it's not my favorite. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. I'll do a post GT brief next week. I will actually, know what? I'll go over my list right now because I have it on my phone. So it's like, why not? So it's Drachy Ganeth, so I could get that bonus on the charge is what I'm after. And let's see, I have one Hag Queen on Cauldron of Blood, two Hag Queens on foot. Of course, Cauldron of Blood has Zealous Orator and Crown of Woe. Crown of Woe. My prayers always go with our Blessing and Cane, Martyr Sacrifice, and Catechism and Murder. That's it. Exploding Sixes. Then I have three 30 strong Witch Elf units, because Straight Genius lets you break that. Like I said, for one extra reinforced or double reinforced unit of Witch Elves. Two with paired knives and one with buckler. The buckler will just hang around the cauldron to get that extra bonus and make them a little bit more of a tankier unit. And then the other two will go with the other Hag Queens and run around. I also have three High Gladiatrixes, just to make sure that each of those Witch Elves are fully buffed up. Because why not? Then an Avatar of Cain, just to help. Because if you know the army very well, and you check out the Witch Elf War Scroll, add one to the wound rolls for attacks made with melee weapons if they're wholly within 12 inches of a friendly Daughter's Cain totem. So I'll have one on the Cauldron. I believe, yeah, actually, is that? Hold on. I might always get that one. I always get that one confused. I don't know if is that totem. It is totem. Okay, yeah, so you do get it. And then one the second one's well. And then 2 units of Canary because I want battle tactics. Even though I hate battle tactics, I will do my best to score them easily as possible. So that's my list. It should be fun. I don't care if I win or lose. If I go 0-5, this will be the first time I've gone a edition with a losing record with Daughters of Cain. If I win one game, I'll actually have a dead even draw, and then if I win a couple games, I'll be ahead. I think the only other event I have coming up for Age of Sigmar 3.0 is in early May. There will be a one-day event at my local gaming club that Ben is putting on over there, one of the leaders of the club, and he will. It's a food drive, so it's all for fun. So you're not gonna bring anything too tough. But I'm not sure if I might take Daughters of Cain again. I know I'll probably run Kraith, just get that last couple Kraith rolls in before it goes away forever. I assume if it's still around, I'm excited. But anyway, yeah. So looking forward to that. And then upcoming hobby. This will be its own. Well, actually, it's going to be a 2-part type series. So I know I did a nice kind of Armies on Parade Army Diary for my Cities of Sigmar, where I talked about the lore I'm after, the color scheme, and like what I want to do, and just thoughts and all that sort of stuff. Even if it changes along the way, I really enjoyed that process of doing those videos because it helped me with that army. And I was going to do it, and I promised to do it for you guys for my High Elf army. And I did. I've talked about my High Elf lore for the Old World quite a bit. I did do that one video, but I painted the army incredibly quickly in a week, as you do. So didn't quite give you that feeling for that. What I will do is, as I expand that army, there will be additional episodes of why I'm expanding and such to really just flesh out that army diary. So like, I mean, because my house will be my ongoing one always. But upcoming, my next army project. Well, my next army project might be a small Napoleonics army. We'll see. But I know you don't care about that. I know you care about what's my next Warhammer army. What's that next big thing that I'm gonna be hitting? Well, I think you might have already guessed if you've watched this before, but boom, Bretonians. So, Bretonians, and I got these here. I need to buy more still, but I tried to buy Lady Lise LSA Ducal, however you pronounce it. Um, and as everyone else is well aware, if you were if you were there right at the start, like most of us were, you added her to the cart and you click checkout, and it's past 40 seconds past that minute, out of stock. So I don't know if it just sold that amazingly well, or if they just produced five. I Who knows? I'm not too stressed. She was not she. It's a gorgeous model to me, not something I was necessarily going to put in my army. Um, but I digress. But I've been looking. I have found the um, the duchy that I want to go after because I'm going to paint this from the old world to match the scheme, match the heraldry of a specific location. I found the one that has resonated with me, so I'm doing research. So what this means is there will be an Army Diary Bretonia coming here. Sometime in May, it'll probably start and kick up, I would imagine. So you can expect that. Probably 1 to 2 videos a month till the army's completion. And the reason I say two is because I'm also organizing and doing with three of my friends, all from Ohio, oddly enough. They're the ones that jumped up to take this challenge on with me. A Tale of Four Warlords, a Strength Hammer Tale of Four Warlords is coming your way. So I think we have High Elves, Orcs and Goblins, and 2 Bretonians. I think I'm doing the Bretonians where I'll follow the same unified color palette, whereas Mike, who you'll meet them on the show, but I think he's doing a more of a traditional style, as we know it, of like questing knights. Everyone has their own colors and heraldry and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, that'll be fun. But while I'll do my own army diaries about what I'm painting, where I'm at with it, I'll also be doing and as well as talking lore and stuff like that. I'll also be doing a probably once a month episode with that crew, which will be Neil, Mike, and Terry, which we've mentioned them before, and obviously you guys know Neil. So we will be doing that once a month, where we talk about what we painted for that first month, talk about our armies, and just maybe it's gonna be a mini podcast, and then we'll talk about what's coming, what's the next things we need to paint, and what we're planning, and how we're growing that army. I will say I do need to get more Peg Knights. I don't know if because I don't care if they're good. But it fits the lore I'm after. So that will be the next purchases for my near future. So look forward to those 2 series coming soon. And as I'm sure, and as soon as I buy anything more high elf related, you will get another army update for that army for sure. But I digress. Now, with the hobby out of the way, boy, I will say it's hard talking hobby with yourself. All right, let's hide Teyrathi's image here. Talk some news. All right. Boom. First up, there's a meta watch for Warhammer 40k. They changed points. Moving on. I I haven't played in forever. I have no idea what that meta is like. All I know is books come out and they're either way too good or way too bad. So, that's fine. I did open up my app, check my points changes for all my armies, and the only one that really lost points was my Space Marines. They went down. So my Dark Angel specifically. So it is what it is. That's why I don't want to cover it. I couldn't speak to it in any educated way other than points down, stonks up, yay. All right, so let's look at some new AOS news. All right, so actually let's do this in order here. We're gonna start with casting supreme sorceries and chanting powerful prayers in AOS. There's Lord Croak sitting there chilling. Ooh, the beautiful, beautiful Teclis. Oh, love that model. So great. So each spellcaster in the game is identified with keyword wizard. Makes sense? Which is followed by their power level. Number in the bracket determines the number of spells, unbinds, and banish abilities that they can use. Okay, so the when we saw the Nagash wizard level 9, he has 9 casting attempts, which makes sense. He has his 9 books, so. All right, so here, a hero with wizard 2 could fire a single spell and still attempt to banish an endless spell or invocation. So, casting a spell, unbinding a spell, and banish is getting rid of those invocations and endless spells. Great. All right, so Weird Knob Shamans. Still moving 4 inches. Shh, that's too slow. uh, let's see. Okay, green puke, range attack. Okay, 2's to hit, 4's to wound. That makes sense. Yeah, I mean, you can puke pretty easily in a direction you want, but will it hurt somebody? Who knows? It is nice that it has the shoot and combat ability, because yes, you could probably vomit pretty well inside of combat without much issue. Let's see here. Oh, control 2. Yeah, I forgot that the control's on there. Control, health, save, all that stuff. But then he has his wall staff. He has 3 attacks, 4's to hit, 3's to wound, 1 damage D3. Okay, pretty cool. Enlisted hero, wizard 1, infantry, destruction iron jaws. And then he has a brutal power, where add 1 to this unit's power level while they're within the friendly iron jaws units. Friendly iron jaws units that have 10 or more models wholly within 12 inches of it. Okay, so much like the ability it has now, where if it's around a bunch of greenskins, the Wa energy builds, so that's cool. I have him because he looks cool. I don't know if he's good. I haven't played that army in forever. All right, so spell lores have also changed in this edition, and are selected as constructing your army. I actually like this a lot. You pick a single spell lore, and every sorcerer in your army can attempt to cast any of the spells from that lore. That means you no longer need to keep track of which one has what. Great. I absolutely love that. It makes sense for this type of game. It wouldn't make sense in old world or fantasy battles, or just even older editions. But in this type of game system, I think is where it could shine. I think they mentioned down below. Yeah. So okay. So there's one of the spells we can see here from the Iron Jaws. That's cool. But this is important here too to remember. While everyone knows everything as far as spells, no more than one friendly wizard can cast the same spell each turn unless that spell has a new unlimited keyword. And even unlimited spells can't be repeatedly cast by the same wizard in that turn. Casting rolls are still 2d6. The casting roll includes a double 1. The spell's miscast. The caster takes d3 mortal damage. It's gonna be hard to switch that. And can cast no more spells that phase. Okay, so I like that there's miscasts. I like the bigger charts better because that's just the fantasy in me, but I'm just glad they're there regardless. But yeah, the unlimited, that's kind of cool. So, like probably like magic missiles and basic spells, or maybe even like buff spells for certain armies could just be boom, 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 wherever you want. Everybody can try and cast it once. All right, and then unbinding. Okay, so unbind a friendly wizard within 30 of an enemy wizard casting the spell. Make an unbinding roll of 2d6. If the roll exceeds the casting for the spell, then the spell's unbound and effects not resolved. And you cannot do it more than once. So you have to beat it pretty much just what it is now. All good, all nice and easy. See, unbinding is an important part of spellcasting counterplay, and with magical intervention, letting canny casters crack off spells in their opponent's hero phase, the unbind reaction ability is vital. Yeah, because the other thing is too, we're not seeing like this is the fantasy in me where like I'm so used to having I'm plus this because I'm wizard levels and all that sort of stuff, or I'm near this terrain piece and stuff like that, so depending on how they set these spells, let's see, like for instance this one needs a 6. Okay, that's below average. Depending on where the spells are set will really dictate how well you can get spells off in here, but it's probably gonna be fine. I'm not too worried about that. I like the changes to magic. They're very simple here, with the exception of one thing. We'll get there. As an exception to the usual restrictions on abilities, a wizard can attempt to use the unbind reaction multiple times per phase based upon their power level, but only once per casting roll. Okay, so you can have Teclis can out there and just be like, nope, 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 nope. But he can only try and do it once per cast, and then you move on. All right, chanting prayers. Yeah, I'm more of a priest person, as you can probably tell from the list I just read you, where there's no spells whatsoever. Gods have cast their divine light on the prayers in this new edition, which are now more powerful than ever, and very different from spells in some key ways. As with your spellcasters and sorcerers, your priests are marked out by a keyword with association power level, and may use a combination of prayer and banish abilities each phase up to that number. Okay, that's great. I like that they get the banished just outright. Um, Good old slaughter priest, 5-inch move, 5-up save. Like seriously, how's an orc not as fast as him? I don't get that. All right, so blood sacrifice. Pick a friendly unit with this unit's combat range. That's within this unit's combat range to be the target. So within 3 inches for this one. Roll a d3 on a 2+, which is pretty nice. Inflict an amount of mortal damage on the target equal to the roll. Gain 1 blood type point. And then scorn a sorcery. This unit can use unbind abilities as if it had wizard 1. Cool. That makes sense for Khorne. He's a hero. He's priest 1 infantry. Chaos, Blades Khorne, Bloodbound, Gore Chosen. All right. Like spellcasters, you'll pick one specific prayer lord for building your army. I absolutely love that. I'm so excited for that so much. Especially for the prayers. You know, like spells, like I can see like, oh, the wizard needs to prepare these spells and blah, blah, blah. Whereas you're praying to a god, you're just like, hey, please help. And they'll help, hopefully. Okay. But this is where the similarities end. All right, so now you're making me work a little harder for the army I like to play. Thanks. That's what this seems like. Instead of making a single dramatic casting roll, I don't think casting rolls are dramatic. These combative clergy beseech their deities, who may even be on the battlefield at the same time, through chanting. Every prayer will ask you to roll a d6 chanting roll. And on a roll of a 2+, your priest gains that many ritual points, which accumulate over multiple turns. Okay, that's where the joke about the extra work comes in. Now I have to track my ritual points that my priests have, and I will bring multiple priests. So is it one poll of ritual points, or is it each one gets his own? Okay, so let's continue and see if we find out. Each prayer has a chanting value that you'll need to match before it is answered. And many include a higher value that can power up the resulting miracle even further. For example, Slaughter Priest can choose to unleash the Witchbane Curse to weaken an enemy wizard once they've gathered 4+ ritual points, or hold out for chanting till 8+ deal 3 mortal damage. Okay, so there we go, we have the answer. You're going to track this per wizard, it seems like, because if you roll 1, I assume maybe it's on here. Maybe you take damage, or if you roll 1, if you roll 1, you lose d3 of those ritual points. So 2+, you'll get whatever you roll in the pips for your prayer pool for that character, that hero. And like this Khorne one here, it's 4. So if it's the first round and you roll 4+, boom, you got it off. If you roll 2, I guess you just bank those points, and next round you just need a 2 again, and then you have 4. Or you can roll 6 and then a 2, and you know, while keeping track of ritual points is going to be mildly annoying, I think. I do like that there's prayers now that have a higher effect if you unleash them at a higher, amount. So like this 4+, pick an enemy wizard within 18 inches of this priest to be a target, and make a chanting roll of d6. Okay. Effect. Subtract 1 from the target's power level to a minimum of 0 until the end of your next turn. That's fantastic. In addition, if the chanting roll is an 8+, inflict 3 more damage to the target. Okay, so you want to do wounds, get some blood flowing, and reduce the minimum level. I have a feeling most wizards, you're just going to be okay with dropping their wizard level, especially if they're wizard level 1 infantry, and now they can't do anything. But hey, you know what? Extra damage is always good. Khorne's not going to be upset by it. Okay, so, the only thing I don't like about this is just having to track each priest's little abilities. Because, I have dice for wounds, now I have dice for this. It is what it is. It's a very mild complaint, because I think the benefits of what we can see with prayers here will outweigh that little annoying thing. Okay, now here's something I'm not the biggest fan of. Manifestation lores. So endless spells and invocations are still in the mix, But instead of spending points to add endless spells when constructing an army, you can pick a manifestation lore. This grants access to a selection of endless spells and invocations to be able to summon a battlefield. I'm glad that they're not costing points. But does that mean I always have to bring them now? Do I always have to bring all my invocations just in case I want to cast it? It's like, ugh. Oh, no. Brother. Ugh. Alright, some factions have their own manifestations, such as Daughters of Cain. While the current endless spells from Alliance Sorcery and Forbidden Power are divided into thematic lores. You'll find the infamous and ghastly Purple Sun in the morbid Conjuration manifestation lore, for instance, alongside Suffocating Gravetide, Malevolent Maelstrom, and Soul Snare Shackles. That's fine. It's thematic. It's nice. I like it. I hope they can get those back in stock soon. I'm thankful I picked those up right away when they first came out, but people don't have them all. So clever kit bashing is the way to go. But hey, I'm just worried about having to bring extra stuff because I'm not the biggest fan of endless spells and invocations and army scenery. So if you're making me drag more stuff around always, it's like, ugh. that's the only, and it's such a minor gripe in the grand scheme of things, but okay. Wizards and priests can both attempt to use the banished manifestation ability to expunge these autonomous arcane forms. And there are more ways to interact with these conjurations that they'll cover in more detail next week. All right, cool. Which I think this is a Friday article, I think. April 19th. Yeah, so we probably will see that when that might be out whenever you guys are watching this podcast, so go check it out. All right, and okay, how do you banish? Pick a friendly wizard or priest with this ability 30 inches of the target, then make a banishment roll of 2d6. If the banishment roll equals or exceeds the banishment value listed on the manifestation war scroll, is banished and removed from play. You cannot pick the same to try and get rid of each time. I wish it was just exceed. That's another gripe, and I'm sorry, but don't mix it. You don't need to mix it. Just exceed it. just beat it. All right. Don't. Oh, I tied it. It's like that. You're gonna get new people, or we'll be playing and we'll be tired. It's game 5 and stress. It's like, oh, I equaled it, and then there might be like a moment or two later, like, oh wait, no, it's actually gone because we forgot that this is slightly different. All right. So that covers that. Now we'll look at battle packs, battle plans, and General's Handbook in new AOS. All right. New edition of Warhammer, Epic Battles of Life. There's more to the game than rushing your troops in the middle of the battlefield and grinding each other down in a glorious death pit. But what if I like the glorious death pit, huh? Like, I want the glorious death pit. Why not? Okay, battle packs, and battle plans. And I'm glad that they're doing more battle pack stuff. It's a good call. It's a nice little tool that they can add on. It's essentially it was module before there was module. Before playing any game of Warhammer, you'll pick a battle pack: Spearhead, Path of Glory, Match Play, etc. This will tell you in which advanced rules modules you're using. Granted, you can always swap those in and out as you see fit, which is the point of a module. Okay, and it provides a selection of missions known as battle plans, and sometimes other modifiers on top of that. The First Blood battle pack is in the core rules for the new edition and uses all the advanced rules modules found therein. Okay, so right out of the box you can play. So it has 3 battle plans because we can't make more than 3. Why would we want to have at least 5 to run a tournament out of the book? Like, just make 6. Come on, make 5 or 6. That's all I ask. All right. In games the last 4 battle rounds, which is kind of exciting. That's kind of cool. Well, that's for this battle pack, not for everything. But I like that we're willing to play with battle round numbers. We can have 4. Okay, if we can make a nice balanced mission with 4 turns, that's great. 5 feels like the standard as it always will be, but maybe there's ones where it's 6. Who knows? I don't know if 6 long term would work, but you could try it here and there just to see what happens. See if it really slows down the game or makes something more tactful and exciting. Okay, you'll need to score more victory points than your opponent to win. And scoring here is simple. At the end of their turn, a player scores 2 points for holding 1 objective. 2 further points for holding 2 or more objectives. Another 2 points for holding more objectives than their opponent. and 4 if they score their battle tactics. Okay. Um, Still hate battle tactics. Sorry. Uh, they're not for me. I don't like them. Um, in the first Blood Battle Pack, each battle plan comes with a different objective, layout, and a unique twist. A rule that can alter how you score victory points. That's fun. I like that. Provide the underdog, the player with fewer victory points at the start of the round, with a boon, or both. In Stake the Claim battle plan, for example, the twist allows the underdog to choose an objective and prevent it from being controlled for a round. Cool. There you go. That's fun. It's like, no, you can't have that one. Now, here's the thing. There's the worry that the underdog mechanics need to feel worthwhile, but they can't be it can't be like so overpowered. Now, this is one where it could be really interesting. Could be depending on how many objectives are on there. It could be very powerful or not powerful. As we can see here, we got 5 objectives. So turning one off isn't that bad considering how close they are all together. That's just a we'll see how it comes out in the wash whenever we get moving with it. If we'll get the overpowered underdog stuff or underpowered underdog stuff. I think it's gonna be really hard to find that balance. But I believe in that team over there, under Matt Rose's leadership, that he can figure it out. I do wish Matt Rose would throw away battle tactics, though. Please, please, Matt, get rid of battle tactics. At least in this current form, it's not fun. I don't like it. Oh, I'm just whining. All right, so this Stake a Claim First Blood battle pack. Okay. 2 armies clash, blah, 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 blah. Okay, we know that. At the start of the battle round, if there's an underdog, you pick one objective. The objective is no longer controlled by their player. Okay, that's what they said above. Sure, so I'm down by 1 point. Okay, well, you can't control the center because I want to fight on the edges because of maybe I'm a skirmish unit. So yeah, it's kind of nice. And it turns out, see, that maybe, no, I say this here. This feels like an interesting underdog mechanic that is actually very well balanced because neither player controls it. It cannot be controlled this battle round. So you're turning it off for them and you. So you're just helping dictate the flow of the battle potentially. So I don't hate that. It's not an underdog mechanic. All right, First Blood is a fantastic framework for your first forays into match play games. Excellent tool for easy and balanced pickup games, but if you're after a naughtier tactical challenge, you'll want to start testing your mettle in tournaments. You'll want to play the General's Handbook. The first of which comes in the upcoming launch set. GHB in the launch set. That's cool. It's more incentive to buy that launch set. That's for sure. That's a very smart business decision. So here for that. I still don't know if I want that starter set because I don't know. That's Stormcaster cool, but I don't play them. Even though I have an army. Oh man, that phone was getting me already, but it's okay. We'll see if we give it or not. All right. For the first time ever, all of your battle plans, battle tactics, and the 2024-2025 season rules will be included in the launch set. Great. With everything you need to start playing match play games right away. Let's find out what they look like. Cool. And this right here, the fact that it's all in the launch set, including battle tactics, even though I don't like battle tactics, feels like we're doing away with army-specific ones, which were problematic as far as being too easy or too hard based upon the scenario. So if they're inside, say, the GHB, that's good because they can be balanced with inside the GHB and the fun that GHB is doing. That said, we'll remove some of the fun narrative stuff that armies can do potentially, but we'll see how. We'll have to wait and see on that one. I'm trying not to poo-poo battle tactics too early. I know I am a little bit here, but they might end up being more fun once we actually see them how they work. All right, GHB. Match play tournaments use the framework presented. Great way of standardizing events worldwide. 100% great as someone who helps run those events. Yep, it does wonders. Also provides extra tactical challenges in the form of season rules, which are fun. They can be a little wonky sometimes from what we've seen, but new edition, things could change. And I'm actually usually a fan of the season rules because they are kind of cool. And if the battle tactics actually tie into the season rules and the flavor of what we're going for with it in a narrative fashion while still being competitive, I think that could sway me back into being like, okay, these are pretty cool. I like battle tactics. All right. So, and all of this will alter how you approach building lists, strategic decisions on the table. I do hope that the season rules aren't just monsters are good, mages are good. All right. So, the first of these books in the new edition features 12 battle plans plucked from the past 8 years of competitive play and reimagined for this new edition. I love that. As voted by the Warhammer Studio, playtesters, and tournament organizers. A thrilling trip down memory lane for veterans and a guarantee of robust battle plans for new players. Yeah, so that's great. Because like there's so many fun missions that just weren't great for match play, but were so fun. So hopefully it's a bunch of like ones like that got tweaked and re-added in. I do hope to see shifting objectives back. That's my favorite one. Just is. It's super simple and great. Because heck, even some missions, just shifting it from short edge deployment zone to long edge deployment zone could change that whole mission up. Right. Each game in this battle pack runs for 5 rounds, and each battle plan. Okay, so we're 5 rounds for standard match play, like that. And each battle plan explains the scoring rules and any twist that might be involved. Border War, a firm favorite from 2016. 100% agree. Border War was fantastic. It's back and gives us a glimpse of how scoring works in the new GHB. Battle Plan 1, Table 1. Okay, so there's going to be 2 tables, so that way you can roll dice and roll dice again if you're just rolling for your stuff. Cool, so yes, you roll dice, which table you're on, roll dice, which battle plan. All right, so as we can see here, nice little long edge deployment on this, and 4 objectives. Like it. All right, so here's a twist. Victory points scored by each player from controlling objectives are capped at a maximum of 6 per turn. Okay, changes how you have to think about this. Also, add 1 to the hit roll for units in the underdog's army if they charge this turn and are contesting the objective wholly within enemy territory. Gives you a nice little incentive to come down here and just push up into your enemy's territory. It's wholly within, so it's only going to be the 1, though. So, but if you want to make that deep penetrating strike and you're down on points, I mean, +1 to hit could be pretty good. We'll see how, I mean, that depends on battles. Battle or scrolls. Ugh. All right, each player scores victory points at the end of each turn as follows. 1 if you control the objective wholly within friendly territory. Score 2 victory points for each objective on the border of friendly territory that you can control. Score 5 victory points if you control the objective wholly within enemy territory. And score 4 victory points if you complete this battle tactic you chose to attempt this turn. And as we think back, if you decide to take the double turn, you can't score those 5 points, or those 5. You can't score these 4 points because you can't do a battle tactic that turn. So it's very interesting. So yeah, you can hold 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you can score a max of 10, but victory points scored by each player from controlling objectives are capped at 6 per turn. So it'll be capped at 6, so it might not be that bad to take the double turn. You miss out on the battle tactic, but you could save a good battle tactic to use later, but still get a 6, knowing that your opponent can't come back with you with 6. So that's cool. I do like the twists a lot. This underdog ability, it's fine. It's not going to win you the game. Well, I guess I shouldn't say that, but yeah, it's fine. I like the other one above where it turned off objectives for 2 people, but who knows? I've not played this edition, so I do not know. All right, underdog earns a little bit more bite when they attempt to contest enemy's home objective, and caps the scoring objectives at 6 per turn. Battle tactics are 4. Okay, so just we would walk through. So this new scoring split makes battle tactics very important. Sadly. So taking priority for double turn becomes an even tougher decision. For each battle plan in the General's Handbook, your victory points each round will add up to a maximum of 10 for a total maximum score of 50 points per battle. This makes scoring easier for event organizers to keep track of. That's cool. I mean, I'm kind of curious to see how we're going to play out. Will secondaries, will we shift that up? How we're going to adjust that sort of stuff. Yeah, so you can score max 10. I'm glad it's not what 40k has where you can score hundreds. 10 is fine. It makes sense. Battle tactics are not half of your score, but they're 40% of that score per turn. So you know, it really comes down to how the events are going to shape up here. Um, okay, and then they show the Vice from 2021. I don't know if these will be like the dates are going to be in the GHB. I get doesn't bother me. It's a nice little addition. Like, oh, this is where it was from, despite the changes. So the Vice shows a variation of how scoring reaches that fixed 10 per round, as its objectives converge on the center thanks to the twist, which also gives the underdog a chance to chip away at their foe. Um, that's fine, and you can go and look at this one yourself. What I'm most excited about to look at, boom, terrain maps. Terrain maps are great. God bless James O'Brien for helping me come to terms how great terrain maps are. I just love it. And it's small and medium sizes. Obviously, there's going to be events like Holy Havoc, Holy Wars, which will be using their own custom tables, which is great. And then NashCon, which has the most beautiful tables you will see that are table with terrain as opposed to the table and terrain being a diorama as Steve Herner does it. So, but those events are out there for a good reason to give us variation. But at least now we look at the Vice. Here's how they recommend you set up the terrain. Great. And also, in here it says this map layout can be for border war, focal points, shifting objectives, the Jaws of Galat, and Battle for the Pass. So if you're a tournament organizer, you can choose, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Boom, all 5 missions, same layout. Or we can do 2 different styles, so like you reset in between the days if you so choose to. Plus, with these type of terrain maps in here in the GHB, as a tournament organizer, this is great because 1, we don't have to figure out how to put them in our packs, and 2, people can set the board themselves. They can see measurements now. They can see where things are supposed to be. Obviously, it's going to be a little bit different because they're just showing circles here instead of actual shapes, because that would be nightmarishly hard to do. But you can reasonably work out with your opponent at the table to make sure your terrain is set the correct and proper way for the event. You just say you're using the terrain map layouts as found on page blah 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 of the GHB for this mission. This is such a huge thing. And like I said, it's for match play. And match play, I think this is a key indicator of taking match play very seriously. I mean, we saw how well match play was being taken as a serious factor from all the meta watches we saw, from Matt Rose and team being out at events like the U.S. Open events, as well as probably visiting other events like Adepticon and such, LVO. And then this just takes it to the next level of, yeah, we care about it. Like we can create a balanced game. We've proven that. And now we're creating, great tools for TOs and even new players. This is great for a new player. Like, oh, this is how I should set it up. Do you have to set it up, the terrain up this way? Absolutely not. But you can. I digress, though. All right, now season rules. Things I do like. All right. They add an extra nuance to theming to your games, which I find appealing. For this season kicks off the release of the new edition. The defining rule is Honor Guard. This rule lets you pick from one of the 3 powerful abilities to give a single Honor Guard unit in your general's regiment. Since these abilities are chosen during deployment phase, you can choose to adapt them to your opponent's roster. That's fun. I like that a lot. It's not just hard locked in. I hope events don't just say, oh, you mean you got to put it down on your list. Like, no, it's fine. We can pick it. It's easy. All right. So, declare a friendly unit in your general's regiment that's not your general to be the Honor Guard. You can pick a unit you can pick a unit in reserve. Great for Stormcast. Or Sylvaneth, potentially, if they still have a deep strike mechanic, which I assume they would. If you use this ability, you cannot use other Honor Guard abilities. Effect. And this is once per battle during deployment phase when you choose this. Okay. Effect. Subtract 1 from the attacks characteristics of the enemy unit's melee weapons while they are in combat with your general, if both of these are true. Honor Guard's wholly within 6 inches of your general. Honor Guard did not charge this turn. Great. Cool. Bodyguard's fun. That 6 inches is going to be rough, even like with a unit of 20. But also, if you have that big of a horde, that's a pretty big Honor Guard. So, I guess that makes sense. All right. The defensive choice is Bodyguard, an ability that turns, honor guard into a human, Warden, Daemon, Verminous, etc. shield for your general, reducing the efficacy of the assailants. Or yeah, efficacy. I did it right. Okay. When they're caught up in melee brawl. Cool. That's fine. And like, that's not like as powerful as we've seen from the other Season of War stuff. It's still fun and it's very simple. And it's a way of saying, like, hey, we value your general this edition. It's gonna be very important. Your general needs to live. It's not, here's a spell that can kill anything. It's not, monsters are good. So like this is light enough touch that I think it's fun. I think they can go slightly a little bit. Like they're ankle deep. They can go up to their shins, I think, and we'd all still be very comfortable with that water narrative, even in a match play event. All right, so just to wrap it up here. Excuse me, sorry. Up here. The General's Handbook 2024-2025, found in the impending launch box, comes in a card format, featuring season rules, battle tactics, battle plans, and scoring cards in a handy format. The standalone release version will contain all of this, alongside the core rules, advanced rules, and the latest rules for endless spells, and a tournament organizer pack providing guidance for event organizers. Next, we'll be taking a look at some of the battle tactics that you'll be trying to score and the new things, so stay tuned in coming weeks. Okay, so one, I love that they're helping out tournament organizers get the grips with this very quickly. Two, we're going to learn more about battle tactics soon. And to be fair, I think that's where we're going to see like a make or break of like, I don't like how they are now, but I'm still mentally comparing them to what they are at 3.0. So I'm hoping this next article comes out and I'm just like, you know what? I love them. I'm excited for them. And then, oh yeah, Spearhead and Path of Glory in the coming weeks. I'm excited for Path of Glory too. See how that's going to play out. And then their little note down here is really interesting. See, Warhammer Age of Sigmar's equivalent to secondary objectives. Okay, it's just what battle tactics are. We'll have that article soon. And then you'll note that grand strategies are not part of this match play season. So I like that. That's a module. So maybe that battle tactic module can be taken out and they're like, yeah, you know what? It's just grand strategies this time, which I would love. I know some people wouldn't. I mean, we're all kind of split on that. So, cool. And like that gives me a lot of hope. Like, okay, this year it's battle tactics. Get used to it. Next year it might not be, and that's fine. And I'm here for it. I'm here to try this out and have fun because I love Age of Sigmar and I want to play it more. And I can't wait to get my daughter's cane out there and just start learning this rule set. So cool. Let's end on Terathi and Daughters of Cain version here for some Age of Sigmar love, because I thought I was going to talk a little bit more too about how just fun, exciting stuff for Warhammer, but being alone is kind of hard to ping off myself with this. But yeah, I am excited for Age of Sigmar, new AOS still. There's still things I like, things I don't like. It is what it is. I'm also continue hype train for Warhammer the Old World. Can't wait for us to get Dwarf Arcane Journal and start seeing more about that. That will come in time. And also, hey, there's a new Taylor Swift album, in case you haven't realized, everybody, the Tortured Poets Department, and I've listened to it like 8 times already. It's good. Go listen to it. Gotta shout out my girl Taylor Swift there. Okay. Anyway, I hope you've all enjoyed this one. I say sorry, it's a little bit more of an awkward show because I'm not used to doing these alone. I can already feel it in my voice talking this much alone. So hopefully it was entertaining for you. You got some paint done while you're doing this, everybody. So we will see you next week. And I think next week we'll try to do Tomb King Army Focus. I'll have Neil back, most likely. If not, I'll be able to hopefully be able to plan ahead a little bit quicker. But yeah, until next time, everybody, stay Stormcast strong and happy hobbying.